staying in nasty news. So I'll be completely honest with you. I didn't really read in depth into it because, it's a tough thing when people are talking about their traumas and, struggles and things that they're going through. So sometimes I try to tend not to watch the videos themselves, but if somebody, has like a written version of what the person said, I prefer to read it versus seeing it just because,
Yeah.
I want to protect, I care about the advancing of the conversation and I care about the people, but,
Yeah.
in terms of protecting my own personal feelings, I don't want to be sad for the day because of what other
Yeah.
people are going through on the internet. But Quen Blackwell
Yeah.
and Diplo situation. So
More came out of this.
I'm not sure. What did if go give what you said? What you
Only
saw?
thing I saw was like a while ago, like her saying like I don't know. She said something, but like somebody I saw something about her that he was like grooming her.
Okay, so more came out then. I
Okay,
think
I don't know.
So did you see the video, the TikTok she posted?
No,
Okay, so then
she posted recently.
yeah, I think it was like 2 days ago or 3 days ago.
Yikes!
Crying on TikTok.
Yikes!
Okay, so basically, for those of you that don't know the background, Diplo is a producer. Unfortunately, I like Diplo's production, so
Yeah.
that's not important at all, especially in this situation. But Diplo's a popular producer, DJ, travels around the world, has done a lot of really big songs. Whatever, we don't need to give
He
out
did
his
Revolution,
accolades.
right? The one that
Did you?
that came out when we was in high school. Like it's a revolution.
Did Diplo do that?
Let me look it up.
He probably did. He's done a lot of songs. Like I don't really listen to that type of music, but he does dabble in hip hop and stuff sometimes. So
Yeah.
I've heard some of that stuff. But nonetheless, Diplo is a obviously a large producer, and because of that, just naturally, anybody that's trying to get introduced into music is going to want to work with someone that's already established.
2014 Diplo.
They're going to want to connect with somebody that's already established in the industry. And, Quen is kind of in that industry because all industries are basically blended together. Like all of the popular people, whether it's music, acting, whatever, it's all just one giant circle at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So she's trying to, she has her status as herself on social media. And I'm sure she got introduced to either Diplo probably either reached out to her.
Yeah, 'cause once you have followers or you go
Yeah,
viral, you're in everybody's
accepted.
scope.
Yeah, you're accepted. It's like, oh, they got 1 million followers. All right,
Yeah.
they're cool. Let me invite them to go somewhere. So I don't know how they.
Or like you said, they might have met like at an event. Because they
Yeah.
all be at the same parties and events and stuff.
Or she reached out. I'm not really familiar with how they met.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just now privy to this because I wasn't aware of this situation until literally like a few days
Really?
ago.
Oh yeah. See, I knew that she lived at his house, and like everybody
Yeah.
thought it was like oh that's like people thought it was kind of weird, but she was like assuring people that like oh no he's never here. I just live here.
Yeah,
And that was like a year ago, 2 years ago. Like that was during COVID. I feel like.
Yeah, I just found out about that. So, basically, what's come out now is, and my understanding, because I didn't want to watch the TikTok, and I feel like an irresponsible reporter, journalist type person for not doing my due diligence and actually watching what she said.
I didn't even watch it.
But I read through it, and basically, she was crying because it's looking like the grooming thing is what happened. And I think what's happening is that, allegedly, he's done this to other black women too. Is that he is allegedly being predatory towards black women, kind of like doing that creepy photographer producer type thing, like I could get you this opportunity, come live with me, blah 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 blah. And with her living with him, then that gives him more of an opportunity and access to do whatever. It's like, oh, let's have a drink night, that kind of thing, whatever. So
I always sympathize with grooming victims, but some things are just so obvious to me though. Like, come on.
yeah, but you know what?
And people thought it was weird. They're like, "Why do you live with this
it is
man?"
weird.
And she was like, "Oh no, he's like we're friends." I'm like, "Okay, you're friends with like a 40-year-old?" Okay.
Yeah. So allegedly, that's what kind of happened. He kind of dangled that thing in because literally that's the difference between money and no money. Like Diplo is a huge producer. If he produces your song, promotes it, like your whole life is gonna go up. And it's another one of those Weinstein type situations where somebody and allegedly
They use their power.
They use their power, their status, whatever, dangle it in front of you for trying to, get something out of you. And supposedly that's what he did. He kind of tried to groom her. And I don't know if assault did happen. And I call it assault because coercion is, assault.
Yeah.
But I think that based on her sadness and crying, I think that's what happened. Like he was like what I would imagine allegedly
Like something
happened.
happened.
Yeah, physically, with the expectation that that was going to, he was going to help her with her musical career. So that's basically the story.
I just feel like I know like it's always a case by case basis, and there are actual good people out there. But I just feel like I don't know, if I was famous, I would just know. Like there's certain things I would just know. I'd be like, come on, this grown 40-year-old man has a living house. I know that world is different too. So sometimes it's different. Sometimes there are men that probably do that who are genuine and look at you as like their daughter. But I just feel like there's something for me like, nah, I'm not living in this man's house.
We are okay. I'm gonna.
But we're not in that world.
Okay.
We're not in that world. So
Yeah, because there's couch hopping and people
Yeah.
sleep on people's couches. I know that whole culture is different, but you've had experiences yourself, and I don't necessarily want to expose them here, where stuff like that has happened.
But I knew it was bad. I think I thought like,
No, not initially. No.
well, not initially, but then yeah, after I feel like,
After
honestly,
my reaction.
No, and honestly, the only reason too is that this person happened to be so upfront.
Yeah.
The crazy part about it, if he wasn't upfront, I could have ended up in a really bad situation.
Right.
If I was over there.
Right.
That was a scary situation. I just thought about that recently because that guy who got convicted, that was his approach. The guy, who was his name?
The photographer guy?
Yeah, and who was on that show or that movie? That black guy who just got he got like 100 years. I forgot his name, but I was like, that's why I thought about that. I was like, oh my god.
But this stuff happens. Like,
yeah, and I mean, think about the comparison. Quen's was around the same age I was. That photography situation happened when I was 19.
Right.
I think that's around her age. She's like 19, 20.
And you seeing at that time, I don't know if I should say this because, I mean, it's general. People are not going to figure it out. That person ended up at, sitting behind Kim Kardashian at MSG, like during the Kanye shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, so he was kind of a person of status. So it's kind of like a similar
And
situation.
at that point, he used the fact that he had the brand. But clearly the MSG thing was only a year after.
Yeah, right. So it wasn't immediately there, but,
But yeah.
I'm sure he might have had that connection before that. Who knows?
That was so scary now that I think about it. Ugh. He looked like nah. Am I being racist by saying that? Thinking all Indians look the same.
Oh, Nav?
Nav.
Oh, I know what you were saying. I thought you were saying he
Nav.
looked like Nah.
I said Nav.
Oh, no, he looked like Nav.
He was creepy looking too. But back then I was thirsty for the opportunity. I really wanted to be a streetwear model.
There's more to that story, but obviously I don't want to say it on here.
Yeah, but he was direct.
No, not even
Thank
that.
God he was, because then I would prevented myself from being over there.
Yeah. But it's just another one of those situations, allegedly. But that's my opinion on what happened. Cause,
Yeah, and that's why I
he
don't
was
want to be a victim blamer when I was in myself in a similar predicament. That could have went bad. But that's what I'm saying. There's certain things I would have realized were immediate red flags.
But you didn't. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you didn't, but I'm trying not to, like, say it on the camera because that's your own personal business.
I don't care. That was like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
6
but we ain't
years
doing
ago.
that.
6 years ago, right? Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just a lot of situations like that, and hopefully she's okay. I mean, she looked really, really distraught. Let me see if I can find the TikTok so I could be a little bit more responsible. But yeah, and supposedly he's just doing this to black women as well. So I don't know.
Interesting.
And we don't want to put any accusations on people, but this is just what. Here, let me see if I could find it. But yeah, it's just another example, and everybody should. Oh, supposedly this happened like 2 weeks ago, I think, or last week.
The video?
Yeah, let me see if I can find it.
Jesus Christ. Card.
No, that's the people below us.
Oh, that's not a car?
Nah.
It's not car speakers.
I can't find it. Did she take it down?
Just go to her TikTok.
I don't have. Oh wait, I do have TikTok.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm not gonna clean this up, but I was gonna try to play the audio, but yeah. So hopefully she's okay, and hopefully people keep reporting people like that.
Knowing her, she probably deleted it.
Yeah, she probably deleted it. Hopefully people
But I'm sure you could find it on YouTube or something.
keep talking about instances like this, and this is where the unfortunate part about the Drewski skit backlash. Unfortunately, that happened because uh, that skit like highlights these sorts of scenarios where guys are being weird. I knew that was gonna happen. I was
What
gonna
was
tell
that?
you to
Oh,
not
my
do
mirror.
that. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. Grooming is crazy.
I'm gonna try to find it. Give me 1 second.
It is a shame though that there are so many situations like this though. 'Cause even like we were talking about R. Kelly, like the R. Kelly thing was a former grooming in many ways with the young girls, promising them like the career. You know, it's a shame.
Yeah. Okay.
It's so sad actually.
It's been happening for the past 2 years, so I understand why nothing has been released, and it seems like I've not been doing shit. This producer told me to come out here when I was 17, and I came out here when I was 18, and I didn't know what I was coming out here for, really, but then I started making music, and then a whole bunch of producers like, wait, this is really good music, so I stopped working on myself at all, and like, on my own craft, and like, comedy and stuff, and I've just been making music for the past 2 years, right? Really good. I love my music. My music's been a journal to me through all the bullshit I've dealt with from someone older, like wanting to help me, but essentially just like seeing a young creative with light in them and wanting to own them and have them a part of your crew and shit. It's so weird. So then when I wake up out of the fog and haze from like living over there and living with these producers and shit, like I have all this music, but then they're like, wait for the perfect time, and there's no perfect. Like, release your creations, you do it as you make them, but no one would fucking help me till this day. No one will fucking help me. You would think like you're in LA, you can figure it all out. Like everyone's so burnt out and they don't want to do shit and they don't want to like have hope for anything. Any other music people I call, they're like, it's the worst time ever in the music industry. Like, I don't give a fuck, I just want to release music. I've got release dates since 2020 and nothing has been released. It's April of 2022. I'm 21 now. Like, I want to release music. I just don't know how to.
That's just she was
Yeah.
17.
Huh?
That's just she got fooled out at 17. Well, 18. 19, 20. Okay.
And I don't know why, because I'm not a bad person. I've done bad shit to them. I don't know why. But now I just feel so lost in myself because I haven't been working on something all this time. There's just no one's helping me make anything come to fruition. So I'm just sitting, like, really asking for music and stuff. I'm like, what have you even been doing? And my friend's like, what have you been doing? It's like, I've been trying to release music. But everyone who said they would help me didn't have the facilities to do it, and they just lied, I guess. I don't know. I don't feel
But why would they lie though? What would be the point?
I wake up depressed every day. It's
Hold
like
up.
when you come to LA, don't trust what everyone's saying around you like I did, because then you'll just sit stuck and like kind of hopeless. And I should be hopeless so young, you know? But I'm gonna figure out a way to drop my music. I'm gonna figure out a way to do it, even though it's not gonna be the biggest thing in the world, because like, that's everything I try to do up. But I'll do it for myself. You know? Asking for music and stuff like, what are you even
Yeah. So basically, what she was trying to say. Let's turn this off. That was just her response to other people's TikTok comments. So the person was like wondering where her music was at, and she was just explaining why the music hasn't come out. And the caption itself, and this is from Def Noodle's Instagram. TikTok star Quentin Blackwell has reignited online rumors that Diplo groomed her as a teenager in new viral TikToks, as she spoke about how she was not in a good situation and accused 40-year-olds of normalizing an inappropriate relationship she had with an unnamed person.
So you just think she's maybe holding back details?
Yeah, because I'm sure she doesn't want to just, completely, because that's what happens. You put out those accusations,
Yeah.
and then you're like blacklisted from the
Could
industry.
maybe they didn't release the music because they didn't get something in return
Yes,
from her.
that's exactly what would happen.
Wow.
And this is me, my own personal bias. Like, I'll have a moment of candidacy, whatever the word is here, candidness. Men in power do some like real weird,
They're
nasty
weirdos.
behavior. And I've been around men that do that and that don't have power. I've been around men that do that do have power, that do have more money. And men are just like that. Like, I could 1,000% see, like, even the lotto situation with
Yeah.
They didn't want to do the verse because she wouldn't do anything physical with them. Like that really does happen. Like that's really common. Like,
yeah, and then even like when DDG and Ruby were went through their breakup. Or no, you know what? It was before. Like, you know, they were always off and on, but it was. I remember there was a hacker that hacked her Twitter and released DMs. And you know, me and you used to do this petty, stupid stuff when we were young. Like when we blocked each other's numbers, so we would be fighting on Instagram DMs or Twitter DMs. So embarrassing because they're grown. They're not much younger than us, like a year behind doing that still. But I guess there was DMs obviously between them two on Twitter because they probably was arguing on Twitter. And then he said something along the line, like said that she was like sleeping with music execs and like people in her label, I guess, to get far. Which makes sense. Like, yeah, somebody like her who's like considered desirable, I'm sure it's probably true. Cause why would he say that? Like, unless he was just being insecure and making up stuff. And then people,
he might have been.
Even there was an interview with her and L.A. Reid, and people in the comments were like, "Oh, she probably slept with L.A. Reid." Who knows? You just never know.
I'm not gonna put that on him, but that's like not even an unknown thing that 100% the men in the industry do that because they're the gatekeepers, and it's like, well, what you gonna do?
And she seems like she's desperate for her career to go off, and it's not really even going anywhere, to be honest.
Supposedly, that's because she needs to link with me and use my beats. Ruby, hit me. We're gonna get you.
She's not going to really give it. I'm talking shit.
That's why you need to stop talking shit because I'm never gonna get out of here.
No, I like Ruby. I do. I think she has a really unique voice.
Yeah, I made beats.
I just feel like
for her too.
Got groomed. Speaking of grooming, by the Ian Connors of the world, and it just messed her up, and she's very. Yeah, she doesn't know her worth and just has trust issues and problems.
Maybe we'll do a Ruby Rose breakdown one day.
Yeah.
I actually have a think piece about the Ruby Rose, but
yeah, because she was like 16 and 17, whatever, when she was messing with him.
Yeah, we'll do a breakdown.
So nasty.
Maybe next pod, but yeah. So not that supposedly, allegedly, because we don't have any real proof of anything.
It's like a thing though. Against, like sleeping with the execs for your deals and for releases and for collabs.
But for men too.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Oh, the woman who
No, men and men.
Oh, I heard about that too.
Supposedly. We don't have any real hard proof of that, but I've heard that. And given what we were just talking about, the Trey Songz thing where men start dabbling in that because they don't feel fulfilled anymore, it wouldn't be far off.
Yeah. I believe it. I would love to really know the details, but I'm sure some nasty stuff goes on because it's power. And people know that people are hungry for success and money. And the people who have that ability for you to reach that are in control. The sick ones are going to use that to their advantage.
That's why I caution women against, there's nothing. Can we say it? Sometimes I feel like we can't say things because they're not going to be widely accepted.
What?
Fuck, I'll stay on the ledge. Sex workers.
Yeah.
We try to be all inclusive of sex workers because it's like the right thing to do. We don't want to shame them. We consume their work 100%. I definitely don't want to do that. But in general, and this actually leads perfectly into our next topic, but in general, it's not the best profession in the world to do. Like, it's just not. It's not sustainable. It's not safe. It's not sustainable.
That's the funny thing. They'll be talking like,
it's dangerous.
Yeah, it's dangerous. A lot of them were talking about like, oh, I'm rich, I got a bag, I got more money than you. It's like, are you gonna have more money than me though, at the extent of both of our lives? Probably not, because I'm making consistent checks every single 2 weeks.
And some of them,
I have a 401k. Yeah, some of them might be smart and putting that money up to retirement. I would hope they open an IRA and are being smart.
No, some of them are really making it, but those are like the legends that really have real money.
Yeah, and for the legends, sometimes it is sustainable because they get them a residual. That people are still watching their stuff to this day. Their older stuff.
Yeah.
But, it's obviously sex work is multiple things. Prostitution is not sustainable.
Yeah. So
this girl said by the time you're 21, 22, you feel like you're 60. She said in that world, they like young girls.
Yeah.
They're sick. They like you when you're 18. Sometimes they said of underage girls on the street. They said by the time you're like 22, 21, 22, 23, you're considered like washed and you feel drained. So it's not sustainable. But the OnlyFans stuff, unless you like a legend, it's not sustainable.
I knew it was gonna happen. I forgot why I brought it up. What were we talking about?
We were talking about.
Damn, I knew that was gonna happen.
No, you were saying it was dangerous. You listened to all the reasons that it's not like.
No, before that, I know what I just.
Before
said.
that, we were talking about like grooming in the industry and people sleeping with the music execs.
Damn, I forgot.
And then
No, I had such a good point too.
Okay, well, let's try to spark your mind. You said we were talking about like
Oh
how,
yeah, I saw we had another topic after that. Hold up.
yeah,
Oh yeah. So like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, we don't want to shame them in that sense, but it is a pretty wild like occupation,
yeah.
and there's just so much like, I don't know. There's just so much using and abusing in like all of these different industries. I really forget what my point was though.
I think you could be saying like how there's some really nice stuff in the industry that we don't know about. So
Oh yeah. It was about like the women that want to that like accept and do those things.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's only 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever.
like they'll try to justify it.
In their own mind, but that lasting impact is like forever. And the reason why I brought up the sex workers in general was because like it sounds good, but then you realize the psychological impacts that that's going to have on you in the future. And
Is
I
that
feel
whole too good to be true mindset?
yeah, like, okay, you're going to get $3,000 for an hour of work. Sure. But you in your mind, you're not going to be okay. Like you're going to think about it later in life. Like the way people view you on the internet, like that's why there's like a lot of drug abuse in that whole racket, like strippers, all of them. And they may be in their own financial situations. I don't want to comment on that. Like, people need to eat. Like, you know, if they feel like that's what they need to do to eat, then
That's it. Yeah.
then do it. But within that, it just does come with a lot of psychological issues, and it's a shame.
And a lot
that
of people don't think that far through. Because there'll be people who don't need to do that, but they are brainwashed. These young kids, like, I can't wait to turn 18 and start our OnlyFans.
It's crazy. Even the Sydney situation with AB, like stealing the money and stuff like that. Like, it's crazy because, and it's sad because they feel like they have to do those things to survive. It's like, get with another famous guy, rapper bouncing.
And that's what you're doing. And it's like, that's not sustainable. All these people, I could guarantee you, a lot of them, unless they're being smart, are going to be broke by the time they're 50, 60. And all of our peers who thought that was who they had to keep up with are going to realize, look, you was chasing that and now you broke too. You guys are both broke. And who's going to be the people who aren't broke? The boring 9-to-5 workers, us. We're going to be the good. Unless, I'm not saying that everybody's not preparing, but it's just funny. The people who are chasing that and the people who are in that right now are not always going to be good. Because it's not sustainable, in my opinion. I got a consistent check that's been coming every 2 weeks until I'm 65.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, because what me bringing that up wasn't to put other people down, but I'm just saying in general, like, those things are going to end up coming back. So I just wish women didn't feel like,
okay.
Please, women weren't in a position where, or women just didn't have that mindset about like trying to get on and things like that.
I told you, I think we talked about this on one of the podcast episode before. There was a YouTuber who was involved in the Chris Sales, Queen Naja situation. Like, one of the girls he cheated on her with that became super viral. She became famous off of that video because they did an exposed video, and that's how it all came out, you know, and the breakup happened and all that after. But one of the girls from the video used that hype that she got from that. And like, she has like a big butt, so she used that to her advantage, and she started her OnlyFans because she had a lot of pressure. She had a YouTube video that just came out recently where she said she regretted it. Like, it's been years, obviously, since Queen and Chris broke up. You know, clearly Queen has a whole other baby in a relationship. But she said the same thing. She said she could probably get another job anywhere else. Like she always wanted to be a teacher. She's like, I could never be a teacher anymore because all you gotta do is a quick background search and you're gonna find that. So she's realizing that, like, she's like, it's not worth it. So like you said, a lot of those girls, I know that's how they feel.
Yeah. So
like that psychological impact.
It's unfortunate.
But yeah, you were saying that because like the grooming, right? Like, people don't realize the situation they put themselves in.
Yeah, I was highlighting that because I wanted to say, like, you know, in the moment, okay, like, people view sex differently.
Yeah, like, you're thinking, all right, I'm sleeping. He's probably gonna, I don't want to be vulgar, but probably gonna finish in 5 minutes, and I got my music deal.
Right. So, but
L.A. Reid's old, so I'm sure that's how Ruby.
And we're not putting this on L.A. Reid because we don't know.
Or Ruby, because we don't.
Yeah, we don't know any situation, but just in general, you think it's like, okay, you'll compromise yourself a little bit because the return is going to be whatever you think the return is going to be, but you're going to look back at life, whether you even flip that to become $100 millionaire, no matter what, you're going to regret that situation. Like, you just are, because there are the women that don't care and they view sex a certain way, which is fine. Like, view it how you want to view it. But I know for the most part that women are very emotional and they wouldn't want that to be their story, because if they could get that without having to do that, then they would do
They
it.
would definitely do it. Yeah.
So that's why it's just like, just keep that in mind. And, it's unfortunate that these situations happen.
Yeah.
With
And
Quen,
keep that in your kids in mind too.
with Quen specifically, because, she didn't explicitly say Diplo. It's just the fact that,
We know it's him.
yeah, at least in terms of how weird the other previous situation was, from what we just heard about her living with him and stuff like that. But so that's why I don't want to put it on him. But
It's probably him.
It's probably,
because that's who she was living with. We all knew
allegedly.
We all knew
right.
that's what. Yeah, because it was his house. Like people recognized his house, his awards. Like she was showing the Grammys and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we knew it was a sad situation. But you live and you learn. It's unfortunate the stuff young people got to go through to learn lessons.
Yeah.